Thanks, JT. Appreciate that. We're going to get started now. As soon as I just figure out how to fix my computer here, 1 second here. I got this, don't worry. All right, good morning. You'd think I'd have my act together, but JT, I found a bug on an error on one of the slides. I fixed it though. Hi, everyone. Thanks for making time for us today. Appreciate that. I'm Doug Morris. I'm the founder and CEO of CSI, and I'm the product owner of the data management suite, which means I get to decide what goes into the product and what doesn't, and I get to go yell at the developers when they don't do it the way I wanted them to do. In other words, they don't read my mind. You met JT a little bit. He's our new sales guy. Notice a little, we're not going to highlight him, got a font smaller there. He's forced to be here, be our moderator and all that fun stuff. So thanks, JT. Appreciate you being part of this. You know, means a lot to me, really. So I'm going to go ahead, I think, and I'm going to just probably stop my video share here, if that's okay. Just so I don't distract you. So there we go. Let's stop the video. Okay, here we go. I think most of you already know CSI. We've been around since '92. We focus on being a provider of true products to the community. And we're a 4-time Rise App Challenge winner. And that's something ASI gives out at the Innovations Conference that is coming up next week. And this product is a finalist for that as well. And I know what you're thinking, big deal, I don't care. Get moving. So let's get moving. Been here a long time. You know, we've got, you know, a host of products that are out there. They're not on, some are not on this list, like our iMerge and whatnot. But some of our 2017 products, if you will, are up on the screen. But we are focusing now on integrations, and our integrations today really are for iMIS 2017 and iMIS Cloud. So everything I'm about to show you in the next couple slides and the data management suite works with iMIS 2017 and iMIS Cloud. So our iEmail product has been reimagined into a cloud product. If you're not familiar with it, really important these days to be able to track what emails are coming into your office and being able to save those emails on the member record. You can also add new records to iMIS directly from Outlook with iEmail Cloud. And of course, calendar invites. You know, everybody's doing these Zoom meetings and whatnot. Quick calendar invite to the board or the education committee. You can do that very fast. And you can jump right to the person's profile directly from Outlook. Cvent reached out to us a couple of years ago and asked us to integrate with them. So we are the provider of the Cvent integrations. They are the ones, you don't call us and say, I want to integrate with Cvent. You tell Cvent, I want to integrate with iMIS, and they'll handle it. You don't have to import data into Cvent. Cvent's going to write activities back to iMIS automatically. And the beauty of this is there's no extra login that the member needs, and all pricing, functions, and data can come directly from iMIS. Focusing on managing your data these days, our Data Station product, once again, works with 2017 and iMIS Cloud. It's about pushing data out to third parties, stuff you would do with the old SQL SSIS that you can't do anymore. And only maybe the data you want, changed records, and we have webhook capabilities. We've got some people starting to use this with Power BI. They have iMIS Cloud, and so you can't get to your SQL database. So they're actually using this product to push to a hosted Azure database and use Power BI with it. So the nice part about it is it's going to keep that second set of data that you're reporting off of up to date. Our SSO really is a replacement for bridges, one login for all systems. Data can pass with the login, so the member's using their iMIS login and it's pushing to the third party with information about them. SAML, OAuth 2, bunch of funny tech terms. If you're talking to a third party and they say, well, we have a SAML integration or an OAuth 2, you're good to go with our SSO. These are just some of the products we've already integrated. There's so many more. We just threw some up there, but those are some of them today. Our newest product, of course, is Text Manager, because people are starting to text their members. You get to decide who you're going to text with an IQA query. You get to decide when they're going to get the text. You get to have the text be recurring. You can merge data into your text. And of course, it's going to write that information back to iMIS that Doug got this text and when he got it. But We're here today to talk about the iMIS data management suite, right? So the iMIS data management suite really started with our iImport cloud product. And then what happened was we enhanced it with our iUpdate, and that became iImport cloud. But we got pushed by some other solution providers who said, we want to move our clients to the cloud, and we're not going to be able to do that unless we can schedule some updates. So the cloud scheduler was born, and that now has been reimagined into a suite of products known as the data management suite. Now you can still just buy iImport cloud. In fact, if you just need to import data into iMIS, it's actually even more affordable today. You could buy iUpdate cloud, and I'll talk about the differences between these two products in a minute. You can buy just that. And you could just buy the cloud scheduler. I don't recommend you do that because it's not going to do anything unless it has one of these other two products to do scheduling with. But hey, we'll still take your money. So let's talk about what iImport cloud really is. iImport cloud is the ability to import from a spreadsheet. So our spreadsheet is our data source. I can update records using that same spreadsheet. The famous term, of course, is merge and purge, right? I have a spreadsheet of new records and existing. I want to update the existing. I want to insert the new. You can do that. You can match by field. We're working on an enhancement. You'll actually be able to match by IQA. What does that mean? Well, let's see, Doug, I've got the spreadsheet of data. It's got first name, last name. It's got job title, and it's got zip code, and it's got country. I want to match by first 4 characters of first name, first 5 of last, the country, and the job title. You'll be able to set up a match key like that. Super powerful. This is where it really gets cool. You can have templates. So if you have a spreadsheet that's coming into your office every week, you don't have to go remap all the fields. You take that spreadsheet, as long as the format is consistent, you simply open up the template you've saved in iImport and you hit go, and it brings in all of the data. No more mapping or anything. And if you really want to, you can actually schedule the import to run later. iImport cloud, okay? iImport cloud is really where we're still talking about iImport cloud. I'm losing it. iImport cloud, we're still back in that first of the demo of the morning. I apologize. An initial data import, right? I mentioned a vendor that continues to send you a spreadsheet and they want you to import it. You want to change name, address, demographics. A lot of our customers now are reaching out to volunteers. They're handing them a spreadsheet full of data and saying, go call these members, get updates, find out if they're going to renew and things like that. You can go ahead and create an IQA, hand that spreadsheet to a volunteer, ask him or her to call those members and update some notes or change whatever needs to be changed on the spreadsheet. They can send you that spreadsheet back, and you can use iImport cloud to bring those changes into iMIS. You might have outside things occurring and you just want to bring in activities, if you will. Imagine you don't want to buy our cVent integration. That's okay. Well, when the event is done, you could still bring in all the activities using this product. What about new panel sources? Hey, we've got some third-party data we've bought. I want to bring it into iMIS. You can do that. Okay, iUpdate cloud. Back on my game here. That's when you're going to use the IQA as the data source, right? So what does that really mean? Well, if you know SQL, right, that's like your SQL select statement. What records am I going to update, and what am I going to update them to? So that's going to be using an IQA. And that is the stuff in iMIS, right? Well, like what? How about the calls you get every morning saying, I locked myself out of the database last night. Can you unlock my database? You can schedule that, right? You can go and set a person's chapter based on their postal code, change a person member type based on their demographics. So, hey, they graduated, right? Or they got their certification, or they've been a member for 10 years. Let's set the category. You can do all sorts of fun things like that. As you move to cloud, you will lose the access for SQL. If you need to go and erase every record on a database, you're going to have to call ASI and say, could you please erase this tick box on all the records? I'm starting over. Once a year, we erase all of the major donor check boxes. and then we start over again, you can do that with this product. Same way you can populate, right? Maybe I want to go ahead and populate a opt-out kind of tick box on every record. I could do that, right? And let the people opt in if they want. We see people calculating scores, right? Fundraisers love to have this kind of stuff on a single panel where they can see everything about that donor, and membership people do too. So start to think it's all the stuff you might already be doing if you're in 2017 with your SQL scripts. NIAG Asia Pacific, I'm a board member for NIAG Asia Pacific. They kicked me out of the US, long story, but they've welcomed me there. It's nice to have a home. They actually migrated to the iMIS cloud recently from 2017, and their solution provider, Causes, actually went and said, hey, we're going to use the product. We gave it to them. We're going to use the product to make sure they can migrate to the cloud. And Causes was behind a lot of these enhancements we had to do. So I went in and I said, let's see what we're doing with it. Well, NIAG AP is a trade association, just like the NIAG here, if you will. The company becomes a member, and then every individual underneath is automatically a member. So they handle that, right? When CSI renews, JT is automatically a member. What about when CSI doesn't pay their dues to NIAG AP? Everybody underneath automatically is removed from being a member. What about JT sitting out there being marked as a member and not attached to an organization? That's a bad thing. So we want to knock that out. They do also update the chapter based on the postal code. And they go ahead, and this is really cool. If the primary email address is blank on a record, but it's filled in on one of the other address records, they move it to be primary. I love that idea. And of course, they find all the users that are locked out, and they unlock them overnight, so they don't have to be bothered by members calling and saying, I'm stuck. And they scheduled all of this, which is really, really cool. So all these things run automatically, either every hour or at night or whatever. Others have done fun things like, hey, I'm going to tick a checkbox based on someone paying their dues, having their background check completed, and graduating with a certain score on a test. Removing people from a committee, maybe who aren't a member anymore. They violated an agreement, or they're just not cool, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the product, okay? We're going to go ahead and import some new data and activities at the same time. We're logging into the cloud, cloud.csinc.com, with our cloud ID, which points to your database. And yes, you can point it to your test database if you like. So we're logging in. We can see all of the apps that we're actually licensed for. Cool. But I'm going to focus on iImport today. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the spreadsheet that I want to import. And that's new members, new records with email activities. What does that look like? You can see I've got all these new members here, and I have an email activity. I sent them an email that said, hey, you're a winner. And I'm going to track that as an activity. So I'm going to bring in these new records and make those activities. I can have different tabs on my spreadsheet. I can create, I can update, or I could update and create. The update or create is the merge purge, if you will. Now I need to map the data from my spreadsheet to iMIS. So I decide where it's going to go in iMIS. So the contact, right? First name, and then what field in my spreadsheet does it map to? Cool, save. Continue doing this, click on the field where it maps to in iMIS and hit save. Now, as I mentioned, we have the ability to do templates. So I'm going to save you time. I'm going to load a template where I did all of this matching already because I don't want to bore you anymore. So because I get the spreadsheet a lot, I'm going to pull in the template, and you can see everything now has been mapped. We're all ready to go. Looks great. The address is out there. We're making the activity. We're doing all this stuff. So bringing the contact address and everything, and I can submit this. Let's go ahead and bring the data in. I have some options here, but I'm going to just say, let's go continue with create new records only. Now it's going to town. It's reading that spreadsheet. It is creating the records and adding the activities to those records. You can see that's all occurring right there and then. Let's go look at one of the records. Ash Morris, cool name, by the way. Well, he has two S's on the end. And here we go. There is, come on, iMIS, let's go. Ash's records coming up. Gotta speed this video up here a little bit. I should talk about something else. Come on, Ash, it's brand new record. So iMIS is like, what? He wasn't there a minute ago. What happened? And now we can go ahead and look at his record and see the activity he's got, or you can jump on to history. And there's the email activity. So brought him in as a brand new record and email all at once using the spreadsheet. So get a little nice little information of everything that happened. There's a couple other options here. You could download the error report or cancel the import if you need to stop the import or there were errors. You can go ahead and download it and go yell at whoever messed up the data. So I think that's pretty cool. Now let's talk about iUpdate. Give you an example. I'm an organization. I have members marked. I have records marked as members. Okay, well, duh. I think we all have that, right? But bad news, they've expired. But even worse, they're still on a committee. That's a big no-no. And they're still getting member benefits. That's not good, right? We don't want that. So you go like this. Oh my gosh, we got to fix it. I think that might be David Riffle. If you know David Riffle, I think that's David Riffle. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make an IQA and iMIS. We're going to find the records. These are my professional members, if you will. And you can see they either have an expired paid through or they have a blank paid through. They are a pro member type, which is the member type I'm looking for. And we can see I sort of said how long they've been expired. So ultimately, I'm going out here and saying, we got a problem here. And these are the records that are bad today. I jump back into the data management suite. I go into iUpdate and I map the same data. And I'll show you this in a minute, but basically we're going to map the contact and we're going to change the member type. Then we're going to look for the committee and we're going to map ID too. And we're going to term them out, right? We don't erase committee activities in iMIS. We term them out, right? We add a term end date that's much earlier. And that's all great, but I want to schedule it, right? And this is where it's really cool. I don't want to ever have to run this again. I want this to run nightly or whenever and automatically take my members and make them expired and remove them from any committee they were on. So let's go ahead and check it out. This is Henry. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He is a professional member and he's a chapter officer. He's also expired. Bad Henry. We are going to jump over here. We're going to grab a expired professional members. We're going to hit select. JT, remind me to put the slower video on here. And we're going to go and update, right? So we're going to add a mapping here. Going fast now. Contact, ID, map to the ID here. We're going to match on that. Perfect. Now let's go add another mapping. Let's go set the member type to non-member. Cool. Save. Now we've got to take care of the committee. So we're going to choose committees. We're going to map on ID again. I only want to get rid of the people that I want to get rid of. We're matching on that as well. And last but not least, we're going to set their term end. And in my IQA, I decided to say end of last year. I made a calculated field. We're ready to go. We can hit submit or we can schedule this. And I can go ahead and put a name in here. And I'm going to go over to my schedule builder. And I'm going to set this to say every night at 2 a.m. It's UTC time. So we have a lot of international clients like NAG Pacific. It's ready to go, but I want to see it run. So I'm going to hit go. So now I've created this task that's going to run tonight, but I want to run it right now. So it's going. It is cranking through. It's taking all those professional members. We're going to jump over to iMIS. We're going to refresh Henry's record. Boom. He's a non-member and he's off the committee. So that's how fast this works. That's how easy it is to just go ahead and schedule stuff like that. I love it. We've got some more stuff coming though, I want to tell you about, right? One of the things is we're going to have a donation import. Yeah, there's one in iMIS. Ours is going to be a little more powerful. It's going to have more matching fields and whatnot. So we're really excited about donation importer. That is coming. We have an IMAP product that you may or may not have, and that sets the latitude and longitude on all records. You can use them for, find the closest member or something. We might move that depending on need. Mobile phone verification, that's a big maybe. So if you're using our text manager product and you try and text to a landline, guess what? You still pay for the text even though it didn't go through. That's bad. So wouldn't it be cool to be sure that the phone numbers that are marked mobile in your iMIS database truly are mobile phone numbers? Email address verification. This is super powerful. you're going to be able to, if we go forward with this, you're going to be able to go and say, hey, go ahead and run through my database and find out which emails are legit. So we don't actually email the members. We go and just make sure their email still works. It's really, really powerful. If you use some third-party products, you can see they do this for you, because you don't want to have the dreaded bounce, right? You don't want to go and email jt@csiinc.com because he seemed like a nice guy and it bounces. He's no longer there. Sorry, JT. You don't want to have that, right? So you'll be able to check your emails. And then we might move our iMove product over as well for the change of address. I don't know. Right now, there's not a lot of people that are focused on physical addresses in this day and age, but hey, we still might do it. We'd love to hear from you. You can email your choice. If you're like, Doug, I use iMove, I can't move to the cloud without it, let us know. Hey, Doug, I love the email address verification, whatever, just email support@csiinc.com. Now, you might say, hey, I heard cloud has the ability to import already. That's true. So in iMIS Cloud, you have the ability to do some simple imports. If you've ever used the workbook converter, it's very similar. You have to go and take the spreadsheet that's been given to you, and you have to put specific headers on that spreadsheet. That takes a lot of time. So the spreadsheet actually has to match what iMIS expects it to look like. You can't save the template. So if you get that spreadsheet again, a different variation of it next week, there's no using a template. You get to go remap everything again manually. You're not going to be able to do the iUpdate stuff I showed you using iQA as the data source. That's unique to the data management suite. So if you need to replace stored procedures, you're going to need to do it with the data management suite. I love this. You can go ahead and upload a spreadsheet, go home and wait for the import to finish. It's going to actually give you the results and you can export them. And we're going to even add the ability to email you. Wouldn't that be wonderful to get an email at 3 a.m. saying your massive import has just finished, right? Okay, don't know who would call that wonderful, but whatever, I did. And of course you can schedule these. And then we have a nice dashboard of our previous updates and imports. So I just had a client this morning ask, hey, can we find out what we've done so far with the product? And there's actually a nice dashboard for that. Last but not least, you go forward with the data management suite. We do provide onboarding for all of our products. We have a full-time support person at CSI. I'm not sure how many other solution providers have this. We focus on this, and it's primarily because we want to be able to turn around your questions with our products as quick as possible. So Billy's main job here at CSI, and you can reach him at support@CSI, is to answer your product questions. He also, if you're one of our clients, he's also the first line of support for that. So he has a lot of stuff that he does to keep himself busy, but we pride ourselves on that. So we're going to turn it over to questions, but remember, if you have sales questions, hey, how much does it cost? How fast can I get it? And stuff like that. That's sales@csiinc.com. I think, JT, this is your slide. So I'm going to stop talking now.
Yes, thanks, Doug. Great stuff. If you continue clicking, Doug, you can find all our documentation following the docs URL listed here, docs.csiinc.com. We are now open for questions. As I mentioned at the start, go ahead and launch the Q&A window and type in your questions. I'll give you a minute or two to do so, and then Doug will go ahead and answer them.
Michelle's got a question. Can you set up a listening folder? It is something on the roadmap, Michelle. What Michelle would like is a folder out there in the world, or an online spreadsheet, correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle, that basically says every night, go look for a file of this name and then do what I tell you to do on this. Yes, that is on our roadmap to do. The idea is your chapter would go ahead and drop a file somewhere every night, and then it would automatically be brought in, provided you scheduled it. So that is on our roadmap to do. There's a couple little caveats. I think we might do that with shared office, but it could do as well listening. That could be an option too. Hopefully that's exactly what you were asking for, because then I win. Wow, not as many questions as last time, huh? Cool. All right, well, while that's going, JT, tell them what they could win.
So you can win a Amazon gift card for $25, like I mentioned in the beginning. We want to thank you for spending time with us to hear more about the iMIS Data Management Suite. If you have any questions at all about what you heard today, don't hesitate to reach out to info@csiinc.com or sales@csiinc.com. That concludes our webinar for today. Thanks for joining, and don't forget to complete the survey for a chance to win the prize.
Thanks, everyone.